Trading is all about timing. You have to know when to trade away the player that is hot before he cools down. I get it. It's hard to trade away a player who is on fire, who's helping carry your team. All players have ups and downs. Enjoy the ups and then trade them away before the downs come. These might not be popular picks, but these are my sell high for week 2. We have to start with the most obvious sell high candidate that there is. That's right, it's Ronel Blanco of the Astros. If you picked him up, it was probably after he threw his no-hitter. In fact, I'm sure it was, because before that happened, he was about 2% rostered across fantasy leagues. And even the people who did somehow pick him up before the season or draft him with a last-round pick, they probably weren't starting him. So you're excited. You got maybe the best waiver wire pickup of the season. He went out and threw a no-hitter in his first start of the season. And just when we thought, okay, that's nice, but we've seen plenty of average pitchers go out and have great games, even no-hitters. Think back to last year, Domingo Germán of the Yankees. Yeah, he's not even in a rotation this year. I did say last week, sure, pick up Ronel Blanco, but temper your expectations. Let's wait and see what he does as an encore. And then he had a no-hitter going again, at least for a few innings, and then he finally gave up a hit. So right now, as it stands, 15 innings pitched this year, 1 hit, 0 runs allowed. So what do you do here? I mean, why not hold on, see how long this run lasts? Will he do it again? Is this maybe a breakout season? I'm not completely discounting that. I'm not saying it's not possible, but we have to kind of root ourselves in reality here. Pitcher who now at the age of 30 in the rotation because of injuries. He had a strong spring. I'm not taking that away from him. He's looked great in the first 2 starts. Can't take that away from him either. But when is regression going to come and how far will it come? There's nothing flashy here either. He averages about 93.5 on his fastball. Doesn't have any kind of trick pitch. He throws a fastball. I guess he locates it well. And his best pitch is really his changeup. His strikeout rate is good, but not great. Look back at his minor league track record. Did we miss this guy? Is something here? No seasons missed, no severe injury that held him back from greatness. His minor league numbers are good, but not great. And we're looking for something, right? Something here to explain this. Like, how is this happening now? All I know is that even if he goes on to have a solid season, I think that's what it's going to be. It'll be solid. But surely his value won't get much higher than it is right now. For a guy that you would have picked up for absolutely nothing off the waiver wire, this is the time to flip him for a legit starter. Now, I'm a realist. You're not getting Corbin Burns for him. You're not getting any high-end player in exchange. But if you can get somebody who is at least a solid rotation piece, or better yet, go back and look at my buy low video and see a couple of pitchers I mentioned there. If you can make a 1-for-1 trade, just do it. Then let's stick in Houston. For a team that got off to a pretty slow start, you wouldn't think we have so many sell-high candidates. But I do want to talk about Jeremy Pena. He's off to a solid start with the bat. So for a shortstop who is a former postseason hero, who is now in his prime squarely at age 26 and entering his 3rd full major league season, maybe this is breakout time. I don't think so. The small sample size argument is good enough, but even besides that, look at the X stats. He is overachieving quite a bit, still not doing very much in terms of quality of batted ball. You want to talk about power? Last year he had only 10 home runs all season long. He definitely can and probably should exceed that. But look, I think you're getting 20 max. And then as far as speed goes, last year when everybody was running wild and increasing their stolen base rate, he did get 13 stolen bases. He also had 9 times he was caught stealing. Look, if this keeps up, he might get the Bo Bichette treatment, which means he'll have a red light at first base. Pena is one of those players where in reality, the whole winds up being a little bit more than the sum of its parts. But in fantasy, you're kind of always left wanting for more. The average, it's probably going to come down. The power, it's probably not going to be that significant, and the steals aren't either. Now, I'm not assuming you're going to get anybody really ready to buy high. If somebody thinks he's due for a breakout, go ahead and flip him. I would do a 1-for-1 right now to go for his former Houston counterpart, Carlos Correa, who's off to a decent but not amazing start in Minnesota. That whole team has been pretty bad offensively. But I think Correa, if he can stay healthy, is due for better numbers long-term than Pena. If you love watching baseball and playing fantasy baseball, you probably love playing MLB The Show on PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch. Well, the best place to get those stubs without paying full price is MMOAH.com. On top of their already discounted price, you get an extra 5% off by using code ENDGAME. You can build your perfect Diamond Dynasty even faster by clicking the link in the description below and using our promo code. All right, how about another shortstop, or at least former shortstop? Everybody loves rookies. Who doesn't love a good high-end prospect who winds up starting on opening day, playing every day, and is hitting well over 300? I am referring to, of course, Jackson Merrill for the Padres. He's scored 10 runs so far. And despite being a shortstop by trade, he's the everyday center fielder, so that dual eligibility is kind of nice. But what I think Merrill's going to wind up being, at least this year, is kind of similar to Jeremy Pena, where the counting stats are going to be okay, but nothing special. Batting average, sure, he can definitely help you there. He's known for his hit tool. Merrill still has what they call developing power. He's got a little bit of pop, but nothing too impressive. And steals really won't be his thing, at least not too much. And although he does play pretty much every day, he's batting ninth. So in the end, I think you're going to be left a little disappointed when you look at all the categories that he's going to provide. So when you have a talented, high-end prospect who's off to a hot start, this is time to take advantage and flip them. I even think you're going to wind up getting better numbers overall in terms of home runs and steals from a guy like Thairo Estrada in San Francisco. He plays every day. He qualifies in multiple positions. He's been slow getting off the ground with his bat early in the season, but I really like what he can bring to the plate, literally. All right, now let's turn back the clock. Remember when Charlie Blackmon was a fantasy stud? It's been a while, but so far, he's looking like maybe the old Charlie Blackmon, hitting also, got a home run, got a steal, but more importantly, he's got name value. Whether people want to admit it or not, when they hear a name that they know like Charlie Blackmon, they tend to have a little overly optimistic view of him and what he has done in the past and what he could do now, and also a hitter, Coors Field, that also makes you think a little bit more positively. But you know, in reality, it's not that simple because the Rockies just really aren't that good. And Blackmon was really good, but he is 37 years old and he's just not cutting it anymore for fantasy. Last year, 4 steals. Year before that, 4 steals. That means he's already gotten 25% of his annual production in that category. Look, when I say sell high for a Blackmon, I mean sell and get something back because you probably plucked him off waivers too. And if you can get maybe somebody underachieving who has way more upside, like a Riley Green, I would absolutely do that right now. And if you like the picks you've heard so far, you're going to love this one. Michael Nelson Trout. To start the season, Mike Trout already got 5 home runs and he's even stolen 2 bases. Is he back? Look, I'm not even going to argue whether Mike Trout is still capable of doing Mike Trout things. That is not even the issue here. The Angels as a team are hitting .232, which I even thought should be lower than it is. They're only 18th in the majors, tied with Washington. That's only because there's so many teams who are off to slow starts that are underachieving. And let's not read anything into the steals. He did happen to run a couple of times, but you know that's not going to continue. He hasn't got you double-digit steals for years. But here's the real thing, okay? This is why I said I'm not drafting Mike Trout unless he happens to fall way late, because I'm not changing my opinion of him based on the real issue here. How long is he going to hold up? For a couple of years now, it's never been a question of is he losing any skill. I'm still thinking that 120 games is probably optimistic for him. I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to hold on to him and then just hope he stays healthy only for it to come crashing and burning down when I could have traded him off for another elite stud. And when Trout is off to a hot start like this, and everybody knows the name Mike Trout, you can pretty much get anybody not named Ronald Acuna in exchange for him at this point. Well, maybe not the other team's ace pitcher because nobody has starting pitchers anymore. The name of the game is sell high. When a guy with name value is off to a hot start, see if you can capitalize on it. And while you're busy making deals and trading away players in the market, you want to know who else to get back. You want to know who to buy low on right now? Well, check out this video if you haven't already.